Welcome back, and hello if you are new, and thank you so much for tuning in. So, evolution for me is one of the most important elements of a band, for without evolution, where are we? Following the absolutely fantastic The Great Collapse, Fit for an Autopsy returned with a record that is smarter, angrier, and far more mature on the Sea of Tragic Beasts. You all know that I'm a massive fan of songwriting, and songwriting is without a doubt the strongest element of Fit for an Autopsy, and particularly on this album. It's absolutely brilliant throughout the album's listen, and the song Blueprint allows for certain trickster ideas to be developed. It's not necessarily always A, B, A, B. There are times where Fit for an Autopsy will go from a verse to a chorus, from a verse to a breakdown or a bridge. And that, heightened with the dynamics that I'll get into a little bit later, really makes the crux of what the Sea of Tragic Beasts is so brilliant at. Tension is often something that is brought up and really lies in the heart of creating the song's story. And here on the Sea of Tragic Beasts, Fit for an Autopsy have essentially created a masterclass. The introduction of Mirrors is a fantastic example. We start off with a very kind of somber, clean section. Which is then added with small amounts of jazz-style drums. Then on top of that we get more riffs, then we get leads, and then all of a sudden it's building up to this massive anticipation, and then the rug is pulled straight under us and we're into that verse, and it works fantastically. But they don't only do it at the beginning of the song, but neatly bookend the track by doing it again when we go into this breakdown section where it starts off with this kind of militant pneumatic guitar. Then again, the drums are added even more, there's more guitar, the drums get even more frenetic, and then we get the vocals that come in and really kind of go in for that finishing kill. Which leads me to my next point, which is an ending. Now, you might not think of an ending as, necessarily the most important part of a song, but the ending is incredibly important for the album's flow and how it sets up the next song. Think of it as almost like a joke. You have to have the setup to be able to have the punchline. The final section of Your Pain Is Mine sort of trudges off into the darkness, let's say. But then this is greatly set up for the somber tones of Mirrors. But then the ending of Mirrors reaches that critical mass point, which has that sort of level of tension, which doesn't get that resolve until we go into Mourn, and then that's how it's beautifully set up. Dynamics, of course, are incredibly important, but here, Fit for an Autopsy used them so well, and it might be just a slight change of something here and there, but it creates that real streamlined approach that allows the album to still be fluid. It's seen on so many different sections of the Sea of Tragic Beasts. For example, the really clever panning on No Man Is Without Fear, or the blink and you'll miss it, Your Pain Is Mine, or otherwise known as harmonic. Even a small slide on Mirrors, or the pick scrape on Unloved, really makes a difference into kind of creating this really fluid transition. This also leads me on to my next point, which is the crafting of melody. It comes in the form of the chorus section of No Man Is Without Fear, or the title track, The Sea of Tragic Beasts, but it manifests itself in different ways as well. For example, the neoclassical guitar solo on Your Pain Is Mine and Birds of Prey. There's also a simplistic tapping on Shepherd, but it is again that small element of melody that really brings it out into the focus. But it's the masterful subtlety that really, I think, makes Fit for an Autopsy such a clever band. For example, on Unloved, we've got those kind of quite discordant melodies, but for me, it's Mourn that really kind of showcases just how clever this band is. They leave this kind of trail of breadcrumbs of melody, which makes you not only be able to kind of follow the melody, but feel like you've heard it before. And this is a technique that actually, you know, major pop acts use, like Justin Bieber, for example. They'll drop a small melody in at the beginning, but then bring it back into the chorus, but it feels like you've already heard it. Every single member of Fit for an Autopsy is firing on all cylinders here, but I have to say, the drums on this album are absolutely fantastic and can be that difference from, you know, creating a section which is good to absolutely sensational. I think it's also worth mentioning that there's so much power behind Joe Badolato's vocals that you really feel that sense of anger, but most importantly, I think you can hear the enunciation. That being said, Will Putney's guitar playing is absolutely fantastic, but I think the most important thing is that you can see that this is very much a collaborative effort. Without a doubt though, the most emotive track is the final song, Napalm Dreams. It makes clever use of clean vocals and incredibly somber subject matter, but most importantly, leaves the album on a very poignant final note. And one of the ways that I've interpreted, you know, the overall ethos of the Sea of Tragic Beasts is to do with the rapid sea levels that are rising and climate change, but also interpreting humanity's needless and senseless violence and greed. Much like the classic plays of Act 1, 2 and 3, the Sea of Tragic Beasts works fantastically in introducing our characters, developing them, and then creating a final Deus Ex Machina where we understand the overall resolve. Fit for an Autopsy's brand new album, The Sea of Tragic Beasts, is set for a October 25th release via Nuclear Blast, and you can pick up a copy right underneath me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure to check out all my other videos and interviews, all that sort of good stuff. And without further ado, I will see you guys next week for another album review. Take care, friends.